We are now halfway through the NBA regular season with the All-Star break now behind us. Matt, I got a very simple question for you. At this point, at the halfway point of the season, What does your NBA MVP ballot look like?
Well, my ballot as of right now, my top 5 go Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, DeRozan, and then Ja Morant finishes it out. Now, Giannis, for me, if you look at his stats this season and then you put them against last year and even the year before that when he won his second of 2 MVPs, he is producing at the same tick. He is leading the Bucks in almost every statistical category. He's one of the top scorers in the league. He basically, depending on the night, he'll just trade off between Embiid and himself on who's the leading scorer in the league. This is a guy that is playing the best basketball of his life. He's one of the best in the league. And then as far as Ja Morant, it almost doesn't feel right to give him most improved. He should be in the conversation for MVP for what he's doing with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's averaging over 26 points a game right now and has the Grizzlies looking like true contenders.
Yeah, I think you got the right guys for the most part. I take some issue with your order. For me, right now, my MVP frontrunner is Joel Embiid. He walked in to Pfizer Forum, the home of the reigning defending champions last week, dropped 42, 14, and 5, walked out with a win against your MVP favorite. And the Bucks' big three, which quite honestly doesn't really lose together as a group, as a big three, too often. Obviously, Embiid, as you mentioned, leads the league in scoring this season. He has the Sixers in third place in a very, very tough Eastern Conference when his running partner, Tobias Harris, is having his worst season since his first season in Philadelphia. So Joel Embiid is clearly the leader in the clubhouse to me at this point. Right behind him, my runner-up is DeMar DeRozan. Point me to the person who thought the Chicago Bulls at the All-Star break would be atop the Eastern Conference. I don't think that person exists, and that has a lot to do with what DeMar DeRozan has been able to do, averaging 28, 5, and 5. He has the Bulls atop the Eastern Conference with injuries to Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball, Patrick Williams, and a bunch of other rotation pieces. So the man just broke a record held by Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, the first player in NBA history with 7 consecutive games of 35-plus points on 50% shooting. The man is on a tear, and he needs to be he might not be in your top 2 like he is mine, but if he's not in your MVP top 5, DeMar DeRozan, you're just not paying attention. I'll close that up with Embiid, DeRozan. I really like Nikola Jokic. I think he deserves respect right there at the third spot. I would put Giannis actually at my third spot.
Okay.
I respect Giannis. I mean, what he's doing is obviously unheard of. He's dominating on both ends of the floor. I'll put Giannis at 3. I'll put the Joker at 4. And a bit of a surprise, he's not on anybody's MVP list right now at this point, probably. But Luka Doncic needs to be talked about more like an MVP candidate. He has the Mavericks ahead of the Denver Nuggets in the standings right now in the Western Conference. And who is his running partner?
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Somebody. Jalen Brunson, perhaps. But
maybe.
I mean, and this is the thing, too. Luka has been on a tear since the Kristaps Porzingis trade. He's averaging 41.5 points per game in the 4 games since that trade, which tells me that move might have unlocked even another level in Luka Doncic, which is scary. But that's my MVP ballot. Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, Giannis, the Joker, and Luka Doncic. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about some other NBA awards. Who do you like for 6th Man of the Year?
6th Man of the Year right now has to be Tyler Herro for what he's doing in Miami. I mean, this is a guy that's almost leading the Heat in scoring coming off the bench, and he's shooting the three-point ball at almost a 40% clip. I think he's at 37% right now. He was at 38 for a lot of the season. What he's doing for the Heat off the bench is really why they refused to trade him when there were big-time blockbuster deals going on and people were trying to get him out of Miami. Miami said no, and it's finally starting to pay off, and he's going to be important moving forward if the Heat want to do anything in the postseason.
People truly have a short memory because people really like to forget that Tyler Herro was in the NBA Finals. Putting on a show in front of LeBron. Against LeBron, obviously they lost, but he balled, and he took a step back last season.
Bad sophomore slump.
But he's back to it. Averaging a 20-piece off the bench is cold, point blank, period. He's obviously the second leading scorer on the Miami Heat, who, like the Bulls, are at top of the Eastern Conference right now. Tyler Herro is also my 6th Man of the Year. How about Rookie of the Year? Who you got?
Rookie of the Year, it has to be Evan Mobley. I mean, the Twin Towers that they have in Cleveland right now with him and Jared Allen, It's one of the biggest reasons why Cleveland is one of the top teams in the East. And we were just talking about how dangerous and how tough that Eastern Conference is this year. He's a big reason for that. He's averaging 14 points a game. Huge pickup for Cleveland.
I agree again. I'm with you on Evan Mobley. I was very high on him coming into this season as a rookie. As you mentioned, averaging damn near 15 points per game, 8 rebounds a game. He's even averaging more blocks per game than Jared Allen, who is the block star. Mobley's averaging 1.5 blocks per game, and he's a major reason why the Cavs are near the top of the Eastern Conference. Let's go to Defensive Player of the Year. Who you got?
Currently, I have Draymond. Now, this is kind of an interesting one because I know he's hurt, but the biggest thing is that when he was in, he was leading the Golden State Warriors to be the best defensive team in the league. And Steve Kerr even said it recently that the reason they're still one of the top teams statistically on the defensive side is because of what they were able to do at the beginning of the season when Draymond was in. If he can come back and get enough games in to bring back that defense for Golden State, he should be a lock for Defensive Player of the Year. But it relies on his health.
100%. Hopefully he returns back soon for the Warriors' sake. And Draymond's name is always going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversations. So is Giannis, and that's who I'm going with for my Defensive Player of the Year at this point. I don't know if the counting numbers dictate a Defensive Player of the Year award for him, but he's just so dominant on that end of the floor. A complete eraser at the rim. He can truly defend 1 through 5, and he goes for it. He really takes pride in defending on that end of the court, protecting the rim. So Giannis is my Defensive Player of the Year. And let's close out with Coach of the Year. Who you like?
Well, kind of for the same reasons that DeMar DeRozan has to be in everybody's MVP ballot, Billy Donovan has to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year because of what he's doing with the Chicago Bulls team. Nobody expected the Bulls to be what they are. They had a bunch of new pieces coming in, whether it was Caruso, DeMar, or Lonzo Ball. It was a team that looks exciting, but nobody thought top in the East. Donovan, what he's been able to do, the way that he has obviously helped DeMar kind of revitalize his career. DeMar has been unbelievable, and I got to think Donovan has some part in that. And then also the fact that they have been able to get through all of these injuries and still stay atop of the East is huge. You lose Caruso, you lose Lonzo Ball, Levine has had a knee injury. Billy Donovan absolutely deserves a lot of credit for what's going on in Chicago right now.
I agree, and Donovan probably should win it. He would get my vote, but at this point, I really like Taylor Jenkins, the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. He has the Grizzlies third in the Western Conference. They're 41-19 at the break. 41 wins through 60 games. That is completely ridiculous when you look at this roster, which is very young. Obviously, they have a ton of talent. They wouldn't be 41-19 through 60 games without the talent. But again, it's the youth. Their best player is Ja Morant, and the rest of this core is young. So, Taylor Jenkins deserves a ton of credit for that. He's my Coach of the Year at this point. But that's going to do it for us. Catch us on tomorrow's episode of Simple Question. For Scott Proctor and Matt Morris, we'll see you tomorrow.